In a world where chaos reigns supreme, one man stands tall, his name synonymous with mayhem and destruction: Junkrat, the explosives-obsessed freak who lives to cause chaos and wreak havoc on a global scale. With a reputation that precedes him, Junkrat has earned a spot on numerous most wanted lists, his antics leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. But who is this man, really, and what drives him to pursue a life of anarchy and bedlam? Born in the harsh, unforgiving landscape of the Australian outback, Junkrat's early life was marked by hardship and struggle. The outback, a vast and unforgiving expanse of red earth and spinifex grass, where the sun beats down relentlessly and the only law is the law of survival. It was here, in this desolate landscape, that Junkrat honed his skills, learning to navigate the treacherous terrain and to rely on his wits to stay alive. But it was also here, in the outback, that Junkrat's obsession with explosives began, an obsession that would ultimately define him and set him on a path of destruction. As he grew older, Junkrat's fascination with explosives only intensified, leading him to experiment with homemade devices, often with disastrous consequences. It was during one such experiment that Junkrat lost his right leg, a brutal reminder of the dangers of his craft. But even this tragedy could not deter him, and he continued to pursue his passion for explosives, driven by a morbid curiosity and a desire to push the boundaries of what was possible. It was during this time, in the outback, that Junkrat met his partner in crime, Roadhog, a hulking brute with a penchant for violence and a talent for mayhem. Together, they formed an unlikely duo, bound by their love of chaos and destruction. For a time, they wandered the irradiated outback, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake, their actions puzzling to many, who could not understand why these two had partnered. But Junkrat and Roadhog were a force to be reckoned with, their partnership built on a foundation of mutual respect and a shared desire for mayhem. As they left the outback, Junkrat and Roadhog embarked on an international crime spree, leaving nothing but havoc and bedlam in their wake. They stole the crown jewels in the United Kingdom, a daring heist that shocked the world and cemented their reputation as masters of chaos. They dug tunnels, robbed trains, and destroyed property, their actions causing untold millions in damage. The authorities were baffled, unable to catch the elusive duo, who always seemed to be one step ahead of the law. British, French, and Latin American authorities offered rewards for information on the fugitives, theorizing that they were intent on crossing the Atlantic to North America. But Junkrat's disdain for authority and his love of chaos were not the only things that drove him. He also had a deep-seated hatred for Omnics, those artificial intelligences that had brought humanity to the brink of destruction. And he had a low opinion of suits, those corporate businesspersons who cared only for profit and power. But despite his tough exterior, Junkrat was not without his quirks and weaknesses. He disliked shrimp, a strange aversion that seemed out of place in a man who lived for destruction. And he was often hunched over, a habit that made him appear shorter than he actually was. As the years passed, Junkrat's legend grew, his name becoming synonymous with chaos and destruction. He became a thorn in the side of the authorities, a constant reminder that there were those who would stop at nothing to challenge the status quo. And yet, despite his notoriety, Junkrat remained an enigma, a man shrouded in mystery, his true motives and desires unknown. But one thing was certain, Junkrat was a force to be reckoned with, a man who lived for chaos and destruction, and who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. In the end, it is Junkrat's legacy that will be remembered, a legacy of chaos and destruction, of mayhem and bedlam. He is a reminder that, even in a world governed by rules and laws, there are those who will always challenge the status quo, who will always seek to push the boundaries of what is possible. And so, we are left to ponder the question, what drives a man like Junkrat, a man who lives for chaos and destruction, and what will ultimately be his downfall? The answer, much like Junkrat himself, remains a mystery, a secret known only to him, and one that will continue to fascinate and intrigue us, long after the dust has settled, and the chaos has died down. Meet the man they call Roadhog, a behemoth of a hero who stands at an astonishing 7 feet 3 inches tall and weighs a staggering 550 pounds, a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. His imposing physique is matched only by his unyielding silence, a trait that has become as synonymous with his name as the mask that covers his face, a mask that conceals a secret, a pressurized chemical mixture that helps counteract the effects of radiation exposure, a constant reminder of the harsh world he inhabits. But who was this man, really, before he donned the mask and took on the moniker of Roadhog, before he became the one-man apocalypse he is today? To understand the man behind the mask, we must delve into his past, a past shrouded in mystery, but one that is peppered with hints of a life lived on the fringes of society. Roadhog's early life is a tale of hardship and struggle, of a man forced to navigate the harsh realities of a world torn apart by conflict and destruction. He grew up in a world where the strong survived and the weak perished, a world that would shape him into the formidable hero he is today. It was in this world that he honed his skills, learned to rely on his wits, and developed a keen sense of tactics, skills that would serve him well in his future endeavors. One of the most defining moments in Roadhog's life was his attendance at the Reckoning, a pivotal event that would change the course of his life forever. It was here that he witnessed Odessa Stone defeat King Mason Howell, a victory that would earn her the nickname Junkerqueen, a moniker that would become synonymous with power and authority in the years to come. Roadhog's silence was broken only by his attention to a loudmouth who yelled out the phrase that would become her nickname, a moment that would foreshadow the complex and often tumultuous relationship he would have with the Junkerqueen. As the years passed, Roadhog would become a thorn in the side of the Junkerqueen, a constant presence in her life, always lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Despite their differences, he was allowed to enter her settlement, as long as he left his weapons behind, a testament to the complex web of relationships that Roadhog had woven. But Roadhog's true intentions were far from pure. He was there for one reason and one reason only: to get his hands on the valuable resources that the settlement had to offer, resources that he believed were rightfully his. The Junkerqueen, aware of his intentions, allowed him to stay, but their relationship was always tense, always on the verge of boiling over into violence. It was during this time that Roadhog would form an unlikely partnership with Junkrat, a partnership that would change the course of his life forever. The two outcasts, bound together by their love of chaos and destruction, would embark on a journey that would take them to the farthest reaches of the globe, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. From the irradiated Australian outback to the bustling streets of the United Kingdom, they would stop at nothing to get what they wanted, using any means necessary to achieve their goals. Their partnership was one of mutual convenience, with Roadhog serving as Junkrat's bodyguard in exchange for a 50-50 share of the spoils, a partnership that would prove to be a lucrative one, as they stole the crown jewels and left a trail of destruction in their wake. As their crime spree continued, the authorities began to take notice, offering substantial rewards for information leading to their capture. The bounty on their heads would eventually reach a staggering $25 million, a testament to the chaos and destruction they had unleashed upon the world. But Roadhog and Junkrat were always one step ahead, using their cunning and intelligence to evade capture, to stay one step ahead of the law. Their activities were followed closely by the media, with A Moment in Crime dedicating entire episodes to their exploits, a testament to the impact they had on the world. Despite the chaos and destruction they caused, Roadhog's partnership with Junkrat was not without its moments of tenderness. The two outcasts had formed a bond that was forged in the fires of chaos and destruction, a bond that would last a lifetime. They were two peas in a pod, united in their love of mayhem and destruction, and their partnership would prove to be one of the most enduring and complex relationships in the Overwatch universe. As we reflect on the life and times of Roadhog, it's clear that he is a man of contradictions, a man who is both brutal and calculating, a man who is driven by a desire for chaos and destruction, but also a man who is capable of great tenderness and compassion. He is a man who has lived a life on the fringes of society, a man who has been shaped by the harsh realities of the world he inhabits, a world that is full of danger and uncertainty. And yet, despite all of this, he remains a hero who is driven by a desire to protect and serve, a hero who will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. As we look back on the life of Roadhog, we are left with a sense of awe and wonder, a sense of awe at the sheer scale of his accomplishments, and a sense of wonder at the complexity of his character. He is a man who defies categorization, a man who is both hero and villain, a man who is driven by a desire for chaos and destruction, but also a man who is capable of great tenderness and compassion. And it is this complexity, this duality, that makes him one of the most fascinating and compelling heroes in the Overwatch universe. Roadhog's legacy is one of chaos and destruction, but it is also a legacy of hope and redemption, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a way forward, always a chance for redemption and forgiveness. Deep in the heart of the Australian outback, where the red earth meets the unforgiving sky, a legend was born, forged from the scraps of a dying world, and her name is Junkerqueen. This fierce warrior queen rules over the Junkers, a ragtag community of scavengers and survivalists, with an iron fist and a heart of gold. But who is this enigmatic figure, and what drives her to lead her people with such unwavering determination? Born Odessa, the Junkerqueen's early life is shrouded in mystery, but one thing is certain: she grew up in a world on the brink of collapse. The Omnics had risen, and the war that followed had left deep scars on the planet. Odessa's family, like many others, was torn apart by the conflict, and she was forced to rely on her wits and cunning to survive. She scavenged what she could from the ruins of civilization, learning to adapt and thrive in a harsh environment. As she grew older, Odessa's natural charisma and leadership abilities began to emerge, drawing others to her like a magnet. The Junkers, a motley crew of outcasts and misfits, found a sense of belonging and purpose under Odessa's guidance. Together, they built a thriving community in the desert, crafting their own unique culture from the discarded remnants of the old world. The Junkerqueen's defining moment came when she faced off against the ruthless Junker Lord, known only as the Scourge. This brutal tyrant had long oppressed the Junkers, exploiting their labor and crushing any dissent. Odessa, fueled by her desire for justice and freedom, challenged the Scourge to a fierce battle, emerging victorious and claiming the throne as her own. But her triumph came at a great cost. The Scourge's defeat sparked a violent uprising among his loyal followers, and the Junkerqueen was forced to fight to maintain control. Her relationships with her people were forged in the fire of adversity, and she earned their loyalty through her bravery and compassion. One of her most trusted allies is a mysterious figure known only as the Queen's Guard, a silent and deadly warrior who has sworn to protect the Junkerqueen at all costs. Together, they roam the desert, seeking out new recruits and defending their territory against any who would seek to harm them. As the Junkerqueen's legend grew, so did the stories about her. Some say she possesses supernatural strength, forged from the very earth itself. Others claim she can communicate with the Omnics, using her unique connection to the machines to predict and prepare for the challenges that lie ahead. While these rumors may be exaggerated, one thing is certain: the Junkerqueen is a force to be reckoned with. Her unwavering dedication to her people and her unshakable confidence in the face of danger have inspired countless others to join her cause. But the Junkerqueen's world is not without its complexities and contradictions. Her community is built on a foundation of scavenged technology and discarded machinery, a constant reminder of the world that once was. And yet, despite this reliance on the old world, the Junkers have developed a unique culture that is distinctly their own. They celebrate the beauty of decay and the power of rebirth, finding strength in the broken and the abandoned. The Junkerqueen's own armor, a masterpiece of makeshift engineering, is a testament to this philosophy, a fusion of scrap metal and ingenuity that has become an iconic symbol of her people. As we delve deeper into the Junkerqueen's story, we begin to uncover the intricacies of her personality, a complex tapestry of contradictions and paradoxes. She is a warrior, a leader, and a guardian, driven by a fierce determination to protect her people and her way of life. And yet, despite her tough exterior, she possesses a deep sense of compassion and empathy, a willingness to listen and to learn that has earned her the respect and admiration of her followers. The Junkerqueen's legacy is a testament to the power of resilience and determination. In a world that has been ravaged by war and destruction, she has created a beacon of hope, a community that thrives in the face of adversity. Her story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always the potential for redemption and renewal, and that with courage and conviction, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges. The Junkerqueen's name has become synonymous with bravery and strength, a shining example of what it means to be a true hero in a world that desperately needs them. And as we look to the future, we cannot help but wonder, what will become of this fierce and fascinating warrior queen, and what will be the ultimate fate of the Junkers, the community she has sworn to protect? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the Junkerqueen's legend will endure, a lasting testament to the power of the human spirit.